Hey, what's happening, everyone? As you see, I have my little Scrappy 8 box out, and I'm getting ready to pick a color. We are doing the month of March, and the prompt is Rust and Rivets, um, which is a great prompt. And of course, you would think that I would want the color orange or brown, but I don't actually. So I'm hoping I don't pick those colors. I'm hoping for a different color. And Kristen, it could be pink. I probably wouldn't mind, even though I don't like that color, but it could work with the idea that I have in mind. So here's February's, and the color was blue. So now I'm going to shuffle my cards. And there's also a free card in here. So if I pick that, then I can pick whatever color I want, which would be cool. Also, but the colors I want are already listed, so I'm hoping to keep my free card for later. And then now, should I use the free card? I think I have to pull it, right? I can't just say, "Oh, I'm using my free card," can I? Well, I make my own rules, so who knows? We'll get to that when I need to. Okay, so shuffled up my deck, and I think I'll just go with the top card. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, purple. I forgot I had that in there. See, I was hoping for a lighter color. Purple's kind of dark. Okay, well, I'm going to have to make that work. I'll use maybe a lighter shade of purple. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Never goes my way. Foiled again. Okay. Anyway. All right, so I already have my idea, so I'm going to get started on it. And I'm just going to do a process video. So from here on out, it'll just be me doing a voiceover and speeding up. Okay, hold tight. All right, so first order of business is I drew out my image, which is the letter B. And now I'm just cutting it out to use it as a pattern for my card. And of course, I'm going to use the carbon paper that Misty gifted me to transfer the B onto the card. And as you can see, it's kind of like a 3-dimensional B. But later, I decided not to go that route because it gave me a headache and it didn't look that good. So, but here I'm just drawing everything out, and then I'll cut out the shape on the card, and then back to the pattern I will cut out just the B minus the 3D effect. And then I just darken the edges where the shadow or the 3D effect type thing is, just with some ink. In hindsight, I probably should have just painted the whole thing brown. And then my next step is going to be, I'm going to use an emboss folder, and I'm going to emboss some thicker, it's kind of like these cards, thick cardstock. In white. There's the emboss and there's the cardstock. And so I have these pieces, and I'm going to use these for the B. So Obviously the emboss part is going to be rivets, and then the other flat one is just metal pieces. Here I'm putting on a layer of matte medium, and then I will put on a layer of clear gesso before I start painting or coloring in the metal pieces. And the paper towel adds a little bit of texture. That's why I like to dab the smooth one with the paper towel. Now I only need one of these panels, so I'm just going to work on one. And the color for the purple is going to be like a violet purple, a lighter shade. And usually I would start with that, but I'm trying something else. I'm trying to start with what I would consider the rust colors first, and then put the purple on afterwards. So a little bit opposite of what I usually do. So this is a liquid acrylics in yellow, kind of an orangey yellow. And then I'm going to use brown acrylics for the next step, but it's going to be like a watered down a little bit. I'll dab it on it and then I'll spray water on it, kind of loosen it up a little bit. Oh, but I decided first to put another layer of matte medium. I like to put this in between my layers so that when I use a wet wipe to kind of distress or wipe up some of it, it makes it a little bit easier and I'm not destroying the paint underneath. So kind of like saving your layers as you go. Okay, so then here's the brown. And I apologize for my voice, but I've been having a little bit of issues with my throat lately, last few days. And it doesn't get any better the more I talk. But anyways, here you can see me just putting on the brown and dabbing up any of the excess. On the smooth panel, it's a little bit easier. Just paper towel. On the one with the rivets, I don't want to take too much off, but I don't want to leave too much on either. So. And then now I'm doing the same thing with terracotta. Just dab it on there. And I'm not going to use that whole panel. I just need little sections of it. So that's why I'm not worried about blending in the rust look. It's kind of mottled looking, but I don't care because it's just going to be in pieces. Okay, now I'm going to use a wet wipe and try to take some of it off of the rivets so that they kind of stand out a little bit more. Another layer of matte medium. And then I'll start adding the lavender, violet lavender. I think it's lavender is the color. Here I'm just cutting out a piece of the rivets that's going to go on the left side of the bee, probably about a 1/2 inch. And that's the most, the biggest piece that I use from the rivets. All that just for that piece. Oh, and a few more little pieces I put on there. All right, so now with the yellow metal piece, what I'm going to do here is kind of cut it into sections and cover up my bee, like metal panels. And you'll see that I have a hard time doing this, only because I wasn't paying attention, and then I ended up covering up the shadow on the right side of the bee. And even though I kind of saved it, I just didn't like the look of it later, and so that's why I just trim it all off in the end. But here I'm just gluing down the yellow metal sections, and then I'll add the lavender onto that. And then I'm just inking up all the panel edges with the brown ink, just so that they stand apart from each other, so you can see the separation. Okay, so now I'm going to paint my yellow panels violet. Obviously, I would have been done by now if yellow was the color I had chosen. But no, had to choose purple. But the lavender's okay. It's kind of a different look, I guess. So the bee is supposed to be a metal bee that was purple or lavender at one time and has now faded and rusted up and been distressed, and the paint's, peeling and coming off in areas. And so this is what we're left with. That's the intent of this bee. All right, so glue down my rivets, and then I'm going to add a few more little pieces going down the middle of the bee. And then I'll cut that extra shading 3D part off next also. Right here is where I decide I'm just going to cut it off. Okay, and now I'm just doing some touch-ups with the terracotta, the dark brown, a little bit of yellow, and even some more lavender. So I'm just making more rust areas, some drips, and then with the lavender I'll highlight some areas to make it stand out a little bit more, so that you can see some of the lavender. I'm not trying to cover it up or anything, since that is the color that's supposed to be the main color. And I think that's it, folks. We are done with our Scrappy 8 challenge for March, which the prompt was rust and rivets. And my color was purple, which I used lavender. Thank you guys for joining me today, and I hope I inspired you or you learned something from this video. And I'll see you on the next one. Tschüss!